One of the hardest things to do as an entrepreneur or content creator is maintain relationships. Long demanding hours have you being pulled left, right, and sideways, and ultimately has you looking at those that you consider loved ones to be left in like the rearview mirror. And there's been countless examples of content creators getting girlfriends and it's skewing their opinions and their work ethic and all that stuff. I mean, Jinxie and Brexy Hill or Bricky Hill or whatever her name is like a perfect example. We've seen how it's affected Neon. We've seen how it's affected plenty of content creators over the past couple years. And I think top-ranked League of Legends streamer Dante and his girlfriend are another perfect example of something that we should examine. What's going on, everybody? Look, let's get into the meat and potatoes of content creation, entrepreneurship, and relationships. So Dante and Laura are some huge League of Legends streamers, big in the League of Legends community, and they do it as a couple, and it's honestly cute and amazing. Yeah, if you want to call that cute and amazing. It's actually kind of cool to find somebody who has common interests like you, especially one like League of Legends, which a lot of people would say is a very nerdy concept. They came together and started creating content, and that's honestly really beautiful. In the first one, you can see Dante's literally in the background helping her record her portion of the TikTok, but they talk about the dark side of it too. And while that may seem like a joke, every joke has a little bit of truth in it. So when Dante took to Twitter to talk about why he and Laura were breaking up, it only made people raise a lot of conversations and questions. Now, the reason for the breakup is detailed in a long Twitter post from Dante, but to give the cliff notes, he picks his content creating over her, and that's something he told her from the beginning he would do. He said she did everything right. She cooked, she cleaned, she supported him whenever and whatever he needed, and she was making all the sacrifices for a relationship. Now, he did make sure to wish her the best in all her endeavors, but honestly, I'm always curious about the other side because we usually only get one side of this, but because they're content creators, we're lucky enough to get two sides of the story.
I would say no, I would not get back together with him, but I'm really emotional, so if he comes back, I don't know. Maybe I'm still at a point where I'm too deeply in love with him and then I do the same mistake over again, but it's okay.
Now, it's honestly tough because they were so intertwined, but I'm here to tell you that this is very commonplace in a lot of these industries or entrepreneurial type endeavors, especially when you have two people who are equally yoked and both on a journey of success and trying to break new records and all this stuff like that. Think about it this way. He works 12 hours a day, she works 12 hours a day. It's even hard for them to find time to eat, let alone time for them to be in a relationship. And especially when she decides, I'm gonna start putting things to the side, putting things to the back burner in order to help you further your career because maybe you have more potential than me, or maybe you've been doing this for longer, or whatever the case may be. It's gonna make somebody feel jaded. I'm always cooking, I'm always cleaning, I'm always doing these things. Now, it would be fine if it was a very mutual thing in the beginning. To be honest with you, if she wasn't doing any sort of content creation ever, I think it wouldn't have ended like this because really you know what you're signing up for. Basically assistant work. But I think things got muddied in the water when she decided to keep changing for him and conforming to him as the relationship progressed. I know he stated in the beginning what he would and wouldn't do, but honestly, it really doesn't matter. It never really hits home until it hits home. And speaking of hitting home, because they were so intertwined, she had to move out of her place of living.
For the people that know my old setup, I'm in my childhood home. I'm currently living back home. I feel really overwhelmed with what happens on my phone. I can't go on my phone actually, but yeah, me and my partner Dantes broke up. Not we broke up, he broke up with me. First timers for me.
Now, I will say to her, the writing was kind of on the wall from the early stages. One, he already decided that he was going to pick his career over you at any given time. You should have kind of seen how this would go if he continued to grow and if things became bigger. There would be truly no time for family, no time for all these other things. It's just really nasty. And two, apparently in the early parts of their relationship, other women were DMing her, messaging her, getting in contact with her, talking about how he was sexting them while they were in their talking stages. And I mean, this were multiple girls that were texting saying that he was sexting her, which isn't the worst thing because they weren't exclusive, I'm assuming, but sexting this many women, and also he's saying that he doesn't have time for you and will not choose you over the career that he is trying to build, just kind of lets you know what type of person he was. I wouldn't have dove this deep into a relationship with him if this was going to be the situation. And really this just speaks to what celebrity or entertainer streamer relationships are like. Nothing is private anymore. Everything is for the public perception and public eye, and especially because these people are reachable easily through their Discord, through their Twitter DMs, their Instagram DMs, or whatever the case may be. It's never really a private type thing. Hell, even when Duke and Callie got into a relationship, it almost seemed like a power couple, but because there was so many speculations and stuff like that, it quickly went from sweet to sour. Your Rage is a perfect example talking about how chaotic couples can be or relationships can be when you are of this status or stature.
What is this? I don't know what the fuck is funny. Do you know what terrorism was caused on my fucking phone, my nigga? No, YRG. What is funny? Tell me what's funny. 5.2 million! Who cares? Like, what? Why do niggas care so much? Like, what? I see some comments about why she had your necklace on her neck. Why she wearing your chain? A multitude of reasons could be as to why she had my chain on. It could be because her necklace broke and I didn't want her neck to feel naked, so I let her ball the little shit. And that's my fault, because that leads to motherfuckers speculating shit, so that's my fault. So from now on, I'm gonna tell y'all niggas everything.
Now, I'm gonna have to disagree with Rage on that one. And what he's experiencing is what a lot of people are experiencing right now. Parasocial relationships are way too much when it comes to these entertainers and celebrities. Angel Reese talked about it on her Twitter recently that she likes to wear jersey dresses, or she would like the little jersey fits of the NBA players or the NFL players. But because people are so rude and nasty and insensitive, they would speculate that she was dating or smashing this guy one day after another, different jersey after different jersey. I think the thing with the parasocial relationships, specifically in the content creator sphere or the entertainer sphere on the internet, is different, because the parasocial relationship that they create and cultivate is much more attached than other streams or sources of entertainment. LeBron James rarely talks on the internet. So if you see him or you don't see him and you speculate about something that he has going on with his wife Savannah or maybe somebody else, it kind of stops there. But because your Rage and other people are on the internet constantly and consistently have to feed into this chat or feed into his community or whatever the case may be, because that's kind of the foundation of what they are and what they stand on, it makes it hard to ignore these things. I personally don't believe in feeding into it though, and I kind of stand with Kai in these sentiments of just, hey, I'm not gonna be an artist because of the way that y'all act.
Bro, it makes no sense. I'm just telling you, I'm not blackmailing me for a photo, for money, and you took a picture of me without my consent, naked. So? Revenge porn.
I ain't posted.
That's revenge porn. But you're threatening it. You're threatening to.
One more time.
You're threatening to, though.
One more time. The thousands of
Yeah,
people I
but
can send it to will post it.
I know, but you'll get in trouble for that. You've admitted.
Nothing I have on this phone.
Yeah, but bro, it makes no sense. I'm just telling you, I'm not blackmailing me.
And it just gets nasty when you're in the public eye like that, especially when you've cultivated a kind of audience that doesn't understand what joking and playing is and taking it too far or whatever. I think that there are differences, because on the positive side, good relationships can exist. I think one, it matters the audience that you cultivate, and two, the person that you get into a relationship with. We see examples like I Am Dante, LSK, Cash Nasty. They've all been married. They've all been in committed relationships, and it does not create all this commotion about them being seen with this person, that person, or the third person. It doesn't really matter, and that's partly because of the people that they choose and the type of community and audience that they cultivate. Look, I'm personally somebody who is on the internet in an active relationship, but there's a couple of things that I don't do. People don't have access to my girlfriend's social media. I don't necessarily post her like that. She's only occasionally in these videos sometimes when she feels like it, and that's partly because of what she does, and also because of the way that we came into this relationship and just some of the stuff and the boundaries that we've set in place as to what's going on, because we don't want to have to deal with it. I also don't think that I've created a community or an audience between my platforms that calls for any sort of nastiness or whatever the case may be. So I think I will be just fine. But oftentimes, especially when two content creators get together and people don't have this understanding of what is and isn't okay in a relationship, things can get totally out of hand. That's why you see Jinxie crashing out about his OF girlfriend putting somebody's picture with the titties and all this other stuff like that. Or when you have such a public relationship where y'all are making couples content on a day-to-day basis like Dante and Laura did, it just spells for disaster. I think she was far too in it, and I don't think that there was any clear boundaries that were set. And now you feel some sort of obligation to give the whole world the reasoning as to why you broke up. You don't have to do all that. Nobody's owed any of that. But let me know what you guys think. How can people who are on the internet go about having relationships in a safe and healthy way? Is it about the audience that they cultivate? Is it about the way that they go about creating content with that person? Or should they just leave it as kind of two separate entities, giving glimpses into their lives about the certain things that they're going through?